everybody, David Cooey here from PrimeMortal Fitness. In today's session, we'll be doing a nice and smooth yoga flow for those times when you need a bit more of a restorative experience. So come with me on the mat. Let's start off in child's pose. Knees are wide and you push back and just let yourself go. Let's have a few simple breaths here. So just being heavy on the mat and just scanning, breathing, enjoying. Now start to walk your fingers forward a little bit. Make a little tent with your fingers and then push back a bit more. Elbows are off the ground. We start to turn the elbows actually down towards the floor and draw the shoulder blades away from the ears towards your waistband, towards the tailbone, down your back. Move forward, roll forward. With the knees under the hips, the wrist under the shoulders. Elbows continue to be turned back, and we're going to push the chest forward on an inhale. My belly is lifted here, just a little lift. And then exhale, I pull the heart back and move the spine, flexing it. Inhale. Exhale. And you could try doing this really slowly from one end of the body to the other. So maybe start to kind of flex the top half and roll slowly through. And you can also start extending by pushing the sit bones away and slowly coming through an extension. Either way, or whatever way you choose to do this, enjoy the breath and try it with your eyes closed at least a couple of breaths. Last two. We come to a flat back. Take a big breath in, lift the right arm. As you exhale, thread the needle, simple twist. Bend your left arm, just bring your ear down to the ground. And if your butt moves off to one side, you don't really have to fight that, but see if you can push into your knees. And then you'll move your butt back to the center, and that twist down the right side just feels so, so good. One more breath in. On your inhale, push into the ground, unthread, make a big presentation of it, and then reach ahead as you look down to the ground and bring the hand down. Simply go to the other side. Left arm is up, and then we reach it on through. I tend to kind of feel my pelvis spill towards, in this case, my right. My instructor right, it's your right as well. And so I push into that knee to bring the pelvis a little bit more to the left, and you really do feel pretty amazing stretch down the side of the body. Last breath in and out. Then inhaling, unthreading. Exhaling, hand to the ground. We're going to do a couple of pointers here. So you're going to be extending your left leg, reaching the right arm, lift up. So I've got thumb up, I drop the shoulder blade down and I'm squeezing my butt to lift the leg. I'm going to flatten the back, so I tend to kind of dump my ribs towards the mat. So pull these prominent ribs in, take a big breath in, and as you exhale, elbow to knee. One. As you inhale, reach either flat or feel free to push the heart forward so the neck stays flat as we go into a bit of a spinal extension. And two. And here's the last one. Last one. Reach back out on the flat again. Bring everything to the ground. Swap sides. So breath in. Exhale. Two. Last one. Reach out on the flat. Bring everything to the mat. Tuck the toes. Cinch the waist. And hover the knees up from the ground. So a little bit of strength at the start. Not here for too long. My fingers are spread and I'm pushing into the mat with all my strength. One more big breath in. As we exhale, it's Pashimoto, downward facing dog. Lift it back and then just start kind of walking in place. Feel free to take that walk into more of a sachet experience where you get to move. And any movement is good here. Last two breaths. And now, final breath. Find stillness. The heels are slightly out, feet are hip width. And by slightly out, I'm doing like kind of 1 degree turned out. Those are the heels. Bend your knees, lift your sit bones. Take a breath in. As you exhale, keep the knees bent, but just push the heart back towards the knees. Continue with bent knees, pointing the elbows back, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears, and pushing into your fingers, especially index, middle, and thumb. When you're ready, take another inhale, and as you exhale, press the heels down towards the mat. Now, they definitely don't have to get there. You just want to feel a stretch. Down the back of the thighs. I'll finish that thought. And also into the calves. One more breath. Bend the knees. Look forward and then just take a couple steps to get all the way to your hands. See if you can keep your hands down, bending your knees as much as you have to. Feet are hip width for Ragdoll. So I'm going to start my Ragdoll by clasping my hands to the backs of my ankles where my Achilles is on either side. And then I'm going to inhale, bend my knees. Exhale, lift the sit bones. Abdomen is drawn. Inhale, I'm doing this just 3 times. This is 2. See if you can let your head kind of follow along with the rest of the body. This is 3. Then I'm going to give my hands a clasp and hug in a little bit closer. Elbows are pointing out to the sides, and wow, I actually feel this stretch. I have lots of sensation in my feet and lower legs. I've got some hamstring stretching too, and some lower back stretching. Wow, I've got some muscles on the outsides of my shins stretching. Those perineals. One more breath in. As you exhale, come up halfway, flat back, shoulders down, let the blood drain. You might even want to take your hands above your knees and bend your knees slightly to get a little bit more drainage. It's up to you. And then I will bend my knees, and with a straight back, so I gather in my waist, I push up and I can feel my butt muscles working. I'm going to come to the front of my mat because we will be stepping back. We start our flow. Breathe in, circle the arms once, come down through the midline, then twice, and thrice. Hold the hands at heart center, and let's just feel the breath for a second. So pressing into the 4 corners of your feet as you push your hands together, and allow all the muscles of your body to hug in and support their neighbors, their opposites, the organs, the bones. Hastasana with Anjali Mudra, those prayer position hands. Nice strength and gratitude. I'm grateful for our bodies. Let's take a breath in, open the eyes. Exhale, soften the face. And then inhale, let's begin the flow. Reach up. You can bring your forearms together. You can just reach your arms up. Let the forearms separate naturally. As you exhale, bend and float down. I pull my fingers back here to do a forearm stretch, and I coat my legs with the rest of my body, nose towards knees. Flat back, I'm coming up to shins for that. I do want to make sure that I'm flattening through the spine, which includes the neck. Take a breath in. As you exhale, hands to the mat, step back, high plank. You can come to knees if you like, but see if you can do toes. I take a big breath in. As I exhale, I'm coming into pretty strict chaturanga, so the shoulder will come ahead of the fingers as the elbow stays atop the wrists. So you'll see me push forward a little bit for this too, and I kind of push into my fingers. All that action, the action and reciprocal action, results in a more balanced movement or a more controlled movement. Come down, hold it there, take a couple breaths. Ready to come down? Exhale, down all the way. Flatten your feet, the feet are together. Push into your feet to lift your chest. So the hands should be very, very light. Yeah. This is Cobra using that kind of what is that, like a seesaw effect. Pushing into the feet to lift the top. Take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees to look forward. Step right and then left. Half lift. Forward fold. Reach and rise. Diving down. We'll do that vinyasa faster if you want it. Otherwise, you know where we're going here. Inhale. Backing down, high to low plank. Upward facing or cobra. Lifting the thighs for upward facing. And then downward. Whew. And that's about as tough as it gets, right? Let's go into our flow. Bend your knees deeply. Take your belly back towards your thighs. And then you're going to step forward, rounding your back as you do so. So I round it. And if my foot doesn't get that close to my hand, I can always just use my appropriate hand, your matching hand, to bring it. I'm going to lift the chest. All right, here starts our flow. So first of all, it's a hip dip and a chest lift into this runner's lunge. Then exhaling back, I'm going to walk my hands back a bit because I'm looking for a pyramid pose, which has the heel up at the back. I walk back, my back is round, that's okay. I keep wanting to slide the right hip bone back and the right sit bone. And then I'll go into that a couple of times. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Come back to the lunge, one more inhale, and then we lift into warrior two. So push into your right foot, lead with the left arm, come up and sink into the shape. Feel free to arrange your feet as you need to. The knee presses behind you, heel in line with instep, and a strong arm reach. Wonderful groin stretch and inner thigh stretch. And then, of course, it's strengthening right here and here. Inhale to reverse the warrior, right? This is a slow flow. And exhale, cartwheel through. Feel free to step to downward facing dog or come through the flow with me. I'm lifting a leg up for that. Down, and up, and back. Left leg, so bend knees, push back. You can walk your hands back a little bit, and then around the back to step forward into your runner's lunge. High pyramid, sink back. Making sure that the sit bone leads the way. Ooh, lovely hamstring stretch. I'm really feeling it today. And then runner's lunge. Pyramid. And lunge. And pyramid. Back to runner's lunge. And then warrior two, foot down at the back. Right arm spirals you up. Feel free to kind of wiggle the foot, scrunch the foot. Sink into your shape. Every exhale a little deeper. Yeah, that feels right. And reversing the warrior. Stay deep in your legs as you reach up and over. Now let's come through. Exhale to cartwheel. Land. Lift. And go for it. Bend the knees looking forward, step or hop to the front. Half lift when you get there. Forward fold, we're here, we go deeper. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, coast down, and smooth coasting. We've got a half lift. Remember, you go where you go. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, or maybe not. And exhale, stepping or jumping back through your chaturanga. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog with Svanasana. And Svanasana. We're going through that flow just one more time. So bend the knees, look forward. Right foot steps. Inhale for runner's lunge. Exhale, take it back. Two more times. And back. And three. Then warrior two. Forward, up, exhaling, sinking, revolving those thighs, right? So we want to feel open across the front. So a lot of back body muscles are keeping us lifted. Reversing warrior. And cartwheeling through. Breath in. Breath out. Left side, how are we doing? Loving that little flow. And back. Forth. here's the last one. Take it back. And then warrior two. Come forward on the inhale. Exhale. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. And reverse the warrior. And take it through your last vinyasa. So we are warm. I definitely feel warm enough to stretch more deeply. If you need to do the vinyasas over again, push pause and go ahead and do a few more. Otherwise, step or hop forward, half lift. Heel toe the feet, hip width distance. And then we're coming into Padangustasana. So peace fingers grip the toes. Thumbs are on top of the toes. I bend my knees, turn the elbows out, draw the shoulder blades up, look down, and then exhale. A strong belly, right? Also a strong push. I'm pushing toes into fingers. And then I use a little bit of back strength and arm strength to kind of coax me down more. Ooh. We want to feel this stretch in the middle of the back of your thighs. So that's mid hamstrings rather than up high towards the butt or low towards the knee. If you feel it up high or up low rather than the middle, just bend your knees. One more breath in and out. Then start to lift up about halfway. Flatten the back. You're going to be putting your right hand on the floor if you want to, or leave it up. And we're going into half moon or floating half moon. I'll go into half moon first, where I touch the ground. I'm lifting left leg behind, hopefully. Left hand to hip. And then I start to turn my hips. I keep my left leg really strong by pulling my toes back. And then I am going to lift up into the floating half moon. So I lift up my right hand, and then I circle the left arm. I'm holding here for 3 breaths with a little wall assistance. 3 breaths. It's all right to wobble. It's all right to fall down. In life, in practice. One more breath in. As we exhale, we just touch back down. Feet are hip width distance. I bend my knees a lot. And we're going into Hastasana, so foot hand pose. Bring the hands underneath the feet. So it's palm of hand to sole of foot. And toes to wrist creases. Bend the knees. And we do the same thing with the elbows. So the elbows are kind of out. Shoulder blades drop up. Ribs are on thighs. Breath. And exhale. Lift the sit bones. Where can you let yourself just be relaxed? Right? That feeling when we let go of a sigh of relaxation. How can you embody that? Last breath. Up a little bit. We have floating half moon or half moon on the other side. So make sure that you nice and balanced, with some energy, some intention, some strength and belief into your left leg. Left hand on the ground, right leg lifts. We turn the hip, flex the foot. Maybe take hand to hip. And maybe taking hand to sky, or lifting up for the floating version. Reach through every single fiber of your being in this pose. So nothing's heavy, it has purpose. We're lifting. Last 2 breaths. Breath in. And as you exhale, touch it down. If you want to take another vinyasa, feel free. I'm going to come to a seat on the mat. You could just sit right here. Otherwise, it's half lift, and you go through your flow. just the Chaturanga Dandasana, Urdhva Svanasana, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then hop to the front, have a seat. All right, I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to be doing a bit of a hippie, twisty sort of feel. So your right foot is ahead, the left leg behind, and we take a big breath in, circle it up. As you exhale, a twist just to your right. There's 3 breaths here, so here's my third. Now inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, hand to the right again, reach over for a C shape. And the top armpit's going to want to kind of come down towards the knee, so turn your chest back. Inhale up. Exhale, hand down. Just change the legs, so what was in front is behind and vice versa, left leg in front. Inhale, lift up out of your waist. Exhale, twist into place to your left. Inhale, lifting up, and C-shape, side bend, left side still. And out. All right, so now I'm going to bring my right foot in front again, and you can choose to leave it here or come into half lotus or into a double pigeon, or some people call this box pose. It's a stretch for the glutes, so I'm going to go into half lotus first, and I can let my toe point there. But if you're going to come and take the outside of the ankle and the inner aspect of the knee, the foot's got to be really active, so you have to pull your toes back and bring it there. You can support yourself with cushions, you can even support yourself with your hand if that's all that you've got. Otherwise, try to find a place where your knee is going to be relaxing down towards your foot, which for me, that's right here. Then I'm going to inhale and lift up. I'm going into that twist again, twisting to your right. Again, just 3 breaths. And inhale, lifting up, and the side bend again. Inhaling up, and then going into a twist. So I'm just going to take my right foot and put it on the floor. Rearrange your anatomy, do what you have to do. Both butt cheeks must be on the mat. You can straighten the left leg, the bottom leg, if you need to. Otherwise, cuddle up close. Push into all 5 of your right toes to pull the knee closer to you. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. And that can be a hug of the knee too. Wonderful, just progression to a deeper and deeper gluteal stretch. Inhale to untwist the top half. Exhale, retwist just on the open side. Let's take 3 breaths here too. And every time we inhale, it lifts up. And every time we exhale, it's a bit of a twist, a deeper twist. Untwist. And then unpretzel, so that your left leg is front. I'm going to do a kind of a funny, kind of fancy way, which you've probably seen me do before. This is my front leg, the leg that's obviously ahead of everything, so I turn away from it, and I just turn around, low, and presto, my left leg is now in front. Just turning away from the leg that's in front. And then some of us did half lotus, some of us did the box pose of the double pigeon, pulling the toes back, lots of activity. And if you need that hand support, if you need a cushion, please feel free to grab that. Whew. This is always such a strong stretch for me. There we go. Now inhale up, exhale and twisting to your left. And we want to try and soften the face, but this time I'm going to put a little turn up at the corners of the mouth These hip stretches are pretty confronting for me. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kind of put myself into that happier feel as I do them. Inhale, lift, and side bend. I'm going to keep lifting the right armpit and ribs, take them up and back. Inhaling up, and then going into that twist, so that's just foot on the floor, stuff out the way. Try and push into your entire left foot, like activate these inner thigh muscles to bind you more tightly into your twist. Inhale up, exhale, revolve. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, retwist to the back. And inhale, untwist. Unpretzel. Take your feet ahead of you. Long legs. Scoot the butt back. Give the legs a little shake, a little wobble, whatever you need. Untuck the butt. And we'll finish with some Pashimoto Asana. So I'm doing Pashi two different ways. The first way is the way where I feel like I have a deeper lower back stretch. So I'm going to be on my sit bones, so junk out of trunk. Lift it up, breathe it in. Toes are pulled back pretty strongly so we don't have any lazy feet here. And exhale, coming forward, belly to thighs. Hold your feet if you want to. Let them go if you prefer that. But think about this. My back is really round here, which is okay. I'm lifting my belly to support that. But I want to lift my chest, inhale. See if I can get more stretch by keeping this long and lifted heart. Oh, long body, lifted heart. Exhale. Acknowledge where you feel the stretch. Just know that that's the right place to feel it. The edge of stretch is a blunt edge, it's never a sharp edge. So come away from any of those sharp edge feelings. The twinges, the winces, any pain. Last two breaths. And last one. And I inhale, I'm leading with my heart, trying to push the heart ahead as I lift up. Purvottanasana, so tabletop with straighter bent legs, fingers towards the soles of the feet or fingers to the sides, your call. Keep abdominals in, really lift the heart, lift those prominent ribs. One more breath. And back down. Oof. Give the legs a little shake. We'll do Pashimoto Asana one more way. So this way is without a round back. So again, I subtract the flesh. So the sit bones are on the mat, as close as I'm going to get to that. Activate the legs and lift. Then I'm taking hands behind me to come forward with my straight back. So this, if I let my feet go kind of floppy here, the stretch is almost negligible. So the legs need to be active there. Maybe you're someone who can keep your flat back and reach the hands ahead. Maybe you take them to your shins, maybe even to your toes. But remember, this is what we've done. Here is where we want to be for this particular version of this shape. Kind of a lot more like Dandasana, but with a slight tip. And do feel free to make adjustments that you need to, so you might suddenly feel that the hamstrings have given a little bit more. You can slide more flesh back. Or maybe they're really not yielding at all and you need to move and bend your knees to lessen any sensations. 5 more breaths. lifting your heart. There we go. Last breath. And then just walk it back. I'm going to do one more Purvottanasana, this time though with bent knees. So circle the arms up. My fingers are going to go to the sides this time. And bend my knees, and I lift up all the way. Last breath, short one. And down we go. So now let's have a little bit of relaxation. I'm coming into Supta Badakanasana, so that's soles together. When I lie back, I'll cup my opposite elbows overhead. Let's just have 10 breaths together here. So we let it go. Let it be heavy. You can even rock around a little bit. And now 10 breaths, 10 deep breaths. Those 2 breaths here. Take it in. Slowly out. And if you wish to relax for longer, please do. Otherwise, start to move the body. I'm going into Shavasana now, just the Shavasana shape, that corpse pose shape, and then shake it all around. Move and rock the head. Screw up the face, soften the face. And bring your knees into the chest. Feel free to come to seated in your own way. I'm just going to lift my head and then roll up. Hands to heart center. Incline the head. And I thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me today. And I thank you from beyond the ether. I see you. Namaste. Thanks everyone. Have a good day. Bye for now.